Hello! Today we're going to show you how you can produce data for training AI models for image recognition. We will look at the data annotations tool CVAT that you can use to annotate images of cities, creating masks within the images where there is, for example, grass, asphalt, or trees, which will then be used to train AI to identify those elements which constitute a built environment or city. We need to start by going to www.cvat.ai. When we're there, we need to create a new account by clicking here. Within CVAT, there are several different tabs. We have a project tab, a task tab, and a job tab. We will be focusing primarily on projects and tasks. Within a project, one can have several tasks. And if we go to tasks and open one, we can see that we can have several projects. We will begin by going to the projects tab and then selecting the plus sign button on the right hand side to create a new project. We need to give it a name. But after we've done that, we can create some labels. So we can make labels under the projects tab, and we can always come back to edit or create some new ones. So for example, if we're going to specify floor materials, we will create some labels like asphalt or cobblestone, which here is Smågatsten, just so that we can highlight to avoid the use of any special characters or space. You can use underscore instead of space. But okay, let's write some more options in this example. And then you can either click Submit and Open or Submit and Continue. If we click Submit and Open, the project we just created opens up and we can see the labels we just created. For example, I want to edit a label. I'm just going to change the color on this green space area. Okay, we're good. Okay, next let's go to tasks. The process is very similar to the one we just did. We need to click the plus sign button and create a new task. We need to give it a name. And then you can link it to a project, or alternatively, if it's not linked to anything, you can create labels directly here. However, I will link it to the project that we just made. The next step is to select some images that you can either click and drag or select and open. And once we've done that, we can either click on Submit and Open or Submit and Continue. We will click on Submit and Open. And now we wait a little bit. And the last step is to click on the blue text where it says job number XXX. Okay, we are now in CVAT's workspace, and up top we can see in the horizontal toolbar that we can save, we can undo or redo our actions. But let's go back to save, because it is very important that you do. CVAT does not automatically save, and you are at a risk to lose your progress if you don't. Moving on, you can also go through the images that you've imported by clicking on these arrows. On the left-hand side's toolbar, up top is mostly used to select, move, rotate, or zoom within the image, but you don't actually need those buttons because you can just zoom in and out using your mouse wheel. You can directly click on it or click and drag to move it around. We will be focusing on how to do masks by using the brush button and the magic wand button. We'll start with a brush. So you hover over the brush button and then you select whichever label you want to use and click on Shape. you'll see that a new toolbar opens up, and with this toolbar you can paint or erase, and you can also specify the dimension of your brush. You can create or remove polygons with these buttons, and either keep track of or change the label that you're working with. If you click here and move and drag, you can move the toolbar around to place it wherever you want. Click here to finish the mask. Okay, let's give it a shot. I'm gonna paint a little mask here, and now I'm gonna increase the brush size so that I can erase faster. And now let's try to create a mask with polygons. So I'm gonna click, 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 click. And when you're done, you can either press the check mark button, or alternatively, you can click N on your keyboard. By clicking N, you can either finish or start a new polyline. I'm just going to be clicking on the check mark button for now. And let me click again so that I'm fully out of this mask and create a brand new one. Click, click, click. But I'm not really happy with this one. You see how there's a bit of the curve on the curb there? You can right click to undo the last vertex or point you created. So I'm just right clicking here. And now we're going to test another function, another shortcut. When you use Shift and you keep Shift pressed, you can move your mouse without clicking on anything, and it will create a series of vertices around a polyline through the path that you're moving your mouse through. So now we're gonna press Shift and keep it pressed, and I'm just gonna move my mouse along the curb and release Shift. And now I'm gonna click, and we're gonna try Shift again. Shift and okay, right click, Shift again. And I've now released Shift. And this time I'm just gonna click on N to finish the mask. Okay, if we look to the right hand side, we can see a mask list. Here we can keep track of our masks and change the labels. We can lock a mask, and when it's locked, you are unable to select it, like you see now. We can hide or show a mask. And if we hover over those three dots, we can edit through polygons or paintbrush. Let's create a new polygon here to make this selection larger. And I'm going to draw a bit more than necessary to show you that we can then remove a bit of it if we don't need it, or change our minds or whatever. We can also, back to those three dots, we can delete a mask. But I want my mask right now, so let's click on undo. Okay, so we all know that the progress in AI technology is moving forward quickly. Therefore, it is good to stay up to date and follow the development of the technology. With that in mind, we'll be talking now about the newest technology in CVAT that can speed up the annotation process by up to 10 times. With the help of the AI model Segment Anything from Meta, you can quickly annotate images with the help of the magic wand. So we begin by hovering over the magic wand button and then selecting whichever one of the labels you want to. Now we just need to make sure that the Segment Anything option is the one that is selected, and then we click on Interact. This function is easier and faster to use In order to select anything, you need to left click. Alternatively, you can right click to remove a part of the selection. Okay, let's give it a go. So I'm gonna click here and wait a bit. And then we can zoom into that bit that is missing and click in it. Okay, that looks good. So we can now click done and try again. So interact, and we can click and zoom in to make the area a bit smoother and nicer. That looks all right. We click done, and let's try a different label now. Let's try some green space. Click. Oh, I forgot to click on interact. Okay, there you go. That was fast. Done. Okay, so you can, hide or show your mask, but let's go to the next image we imported. And now we're gonna select the building. Interact, click. Okay, that was fast. Looks good. Done. Now we're gonna go for the sidewalk. So I'm gonna click, and oh, that selected quite a bit more. So I'm gonna right click on the road to deselect it, and you see how fast that was? So the sidewalk selection is not so tidy, not super smooth with the contours, but that was super easy to do. And we can always polish it up with editing with polygons. So I'm just gonna do a quick example and remove this bit of selection, click, and okay. And that's it, really. Don't forget to save. It's important that we do. To export the information, we go to the Task tab and then find the 3 dots next to the word Actions. You then click on Export Task Dataset. And under Export Format, we will open the drop-down menu and look for Label Me 3.0. We will give it a name, remember, no special characters, and then click OK. And now we just wait for it to download. When we have our download ready, we can open the file and see that the output from export gives us 2 types of files, XML and PNG. We can look at the PNG images to see what the masks look like. The PNG files are the masks or objects that we drew, while the XML files point out which image or photo the masks belong to, as well as which label or type the masks have. When we export the files, they are then used to train AI to identify what is X or Y in an image. In this example, we can see in the first row the original images. The second row are the masks that we created. Then comes a prediction from AI on the third row. This means that the image in the third row should be the answer we would get from AI if we ask for an image of a road or a garden. The fourth row, we can see the percentage of errors based on our small sample selection. The more information or images we train AI with, the less errors we get. When we compare images, we can see that the other examples with a bigger image selection have less errors, and this means that AI has a better idea of how to identify different elements of a city and produce its own images with fewer mistakes. The goal with this is that you can use CVAT to annotate, and this way we can together build a bigger database that will improve how artificial intelligence works. Thank you very much.